And I knew what it'd take to make my first million. It took everything.
Today's guest is Brandon Carter, a self-made entrepreneur, fitness mogul, and the man behind the King Keto brand. From modeling for Nike and Adidas to coaching millions on fitness, nutrition, and business, Brandon has built an empire by mastering discipline, mindset, and high-performance habits.
With entrepreneurship, the worst thing that can happen is you just fire all your staff.
Yeah.
Just do things yourself, and you can still make like $100K a month.
I'm kind of singular focused. When I was younger, it was money and girls. Now it's just money. I got a girlfriend now.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. Whole shit where Hitler became more and more paranoid. He's fucking coked up.
Hitler was a crazy motherfucker, man. I think he was tripping. Yeah, I don't care what kind of pushback I get for saying that. Big thing for entrepreneurs, left to your own devices, you'll just work on your business till you go to sleep. That's why you got to schedule time with your family. I plan how much time I want to spend with my son. All right, son, time's up, you know. My girl doesn't even work, so she's there the whole time.
Yeah.
Almost like a house assistant.
A beautiful house.
Yeah, big booty, fat titty house assistant.
I think the last time we hung out was 2018 in your crib in New York.
Yeah, dude. We had that crazy interview that we never published.
Yeah, because you got 2 years.
Was it me?
Yeah, it was mostly you.
It was me? Yeah.
Because we just came off the back of the Julian shitstorm.
Oh.
So we were all already really careful. And then you were like, yeah, man. And I was like, oh, this is really funny, but I can't publish any of it. It was highly censored.
Yeah, when we get together, it's usually like that. We'll see if we've matured.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, man. It's just gotten better and funnier.
Yeah.
Because you make more money, you know?
Yeah.
So you give less
Give
shit.
fucking less.
When did you move out to Miami?
Like 3 years ago.
So really during COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had stopped wearing masks. It was like right after we stopped wearing masks.
You guys wore masks? Damn.
Yeah.
I was in Ukraine.
Using
Ain't no fucking masks there, bro.
Ain't no rules there.
Yeah,
man.
nothing.
Ain't no laws yet. Is there even a government? Like,
Yeah, I mean, now, I don't know. But before the war, there was a government, but they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
that was the cool thing. It was so Eastern European. Nobody gave a damn.
You know what, man? All my friends, like every one of them, really cared about the fucking mask and shit.
Really?
And I didn't give a fuck. You know, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna make money, man. Like,
yeah.
I was there,
My money's gonna protect.
Like, man, why y'all talking about masks, man? Like, if I need to wear the mask to go somewhere, I just put it on. Yo, whatever. I gotta get this money, man. Like, I'm kind of singular focused. Money. When I was younger, it was money and girls. Now it's just money because I got a girlfriend now.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Nothing gayer than having a girlfriend.
I gotta go too, man. I mean, the guy was there for 8 years, dude. We used to call it very.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, my man. Thanks for a reminder. I brought you that.
A bear? This was his bear meat?
Yeah. The Arctic Circle in Finland, bro.
No, I was just joking when I said it's bear meat. But
It's
this
bear meat from the Arctic Circle. It's a keto gift.
I never ate a bear before.
There you fucking go.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome, dude.
I appreciate it.
Enjoy that shit, man. Yeah.
Right now.
Just open it up, man.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like beef, actually.
All right.
Yeah, you know, one of these. I'm not sure if you can even have them in the U.S. Like these beef sausages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These like smoked beef, kind of like that. It's a very smoky flavor. Depends on what the bear eats and when you kill it. It's
when do you kill it?
I know I didn't kill it myself.
Oh.
I wish. Yeah, Elliot Hulse asked me the same. He's like, "When did you kill it?" I'm like, "I don't know. Where's everybody assuming it?" Yeah, it depends what the bear eats, because some bears eat a lot of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Some bears eat a lot of meat. It just depends. It's like opportunistic.
Yeah.
Bears are opportunistic hunters. So I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just
All
pretty good. It has pretty good macros too.
Hey,
So
man, I'm down. Thank you. Man.
fuck yeah, you're
Appreciate
welcome, man. Guys, I gotta bring King Keto some ketos.
Yeah. Nah, yo, man, I'm gonna eat that bear.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Did you do keto before you changed the brand?
Yeah,
Keto?
I started doing keto like 8 years ago.
Wow, man.
You know what happened was I went to the doctor, and the doctor said that it was just for the checkup for like insurance or some shit, and he said my cholesterol was kind of high, and it runs in my family. Actually, it's the predisposition. A lot of people in my family are on statin medications, and I didn't want to do that because it has side effects.
Yeah.
But I had read some studies that the ketogenic diet for some people can actually normalize cholesterol levels and improve levels of cholesterol. So I said, all right, I'll just try this. So I did that for a month instead of taking the drugs. Went back to the doctor. He said, oh, your shit is fucking fine now.
Ha.
He said, did you take the drugs? I was like, nah, man.
Aha.
And he said, well, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, bet. But I once I got used to being on keto, I just started to feel like way better.
It feels really good.
More energy for me. I had more energy. It makes you lose water weight. So I looked like water weight. Like this is why bodybuilders will cut, will dehydrate themselves before they go on stage, because losing water weight makes you look better. And I don't know, man. I just had a different kind of mental clarity, and I said, man, I'm just keep doing this.
What's the maximum carbs you got to take to be in keto?
Well, honestly, there's recommendations,
Yeah.
right? But it's really, it depends on the individual. So the first year for me, I tested my blood ketone levels like twice a day, like with the blood.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I can take my net carbs up to around 100 and I'll still stay in ketosis.
Sick.
But that's me. You know, everybody's got to figure out what works for them. You know, you're not doing keto unless you're in ketosis. So even if you're following the recommended, dosages of and macronutrient recommendations, if your blood ketones aren't high enough above 0.5, then you're not in ketosis. Right. Yeah. So you are eating a ketogenic diet, I guess, but you don't really know until you test it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's where it gets kind of complex,
I was 12 years vegetarian until 2 years ago.
Oh, man.
Full on vegetarian. And it was so hard, dude. And back then my macros were different. Back then I did only 160 grams of protein a day.
Oh, wow.
And that was already hard to get to.
Yeah.
As a vegetarian, especially when traveling. Like all you could get is like cottage cheese and some of these fucking protein drinks.
Cottage cheese is vegetarian? Oh, vegetarian. You just don't eat meat, not vegan.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, dude, 2 years ago I started eating meat again. And it was insane. Like after a fucking month, like it took a month, and I was like super spot on. I had way more muscle growth.
Yeah.
Like, all my shirts from like 6 months ago didn't fit me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I had plateaued before that at the gym. It was really insane. My testosterone 9x, 9x. Yeah, it was insane, man. And
now you eating beer. This dude went from being a vegetarian to eating bears.
Full on, basically.
Yeah.
I eat 2 pounds of meat a day now.
Nice.
Basically only meat and eggs and some fruit and veggies. I'm at about 100 grams of carbs a day.
Yeah, it's good. Do you feel different?
It's completely fucking
nothing wrong with carbs, and it depends on how you actually. There's nothing like wrong with them. It just depends on how your body responds. Keto is not for everyone, or low carbs not for everyone. There's no, some people die if they eat a fucking peanut. So it's like everybody's different. People got to find what works best for them. I'm not one of these guys who says, man, you got to do this. It's like, nah, man, do whatever works best for you, man.
Yeah. How was the transition for you? Did you feel good instantly, or did you get the flu, the keto?
I never got the keto flu. Because I fucking had researched it. I've been a certified nutritionist for like 25 years, right? So I knew that, and I had dieted before. I had been a fitness model at one point, right? So I knew I've done low carbs before to diet,
Yeah.
And so I didn't have the keto flu because I knew that, a lot of times you got to get just more salt. Honestly, it's the electrolytes. That makes people feel like they have the keto flu. It's really they just don't have enough electrolytes, because when you lose all that water weight, you start to expel electrolytes too. So I just increased my salt intake, magnesium and potassium, and I felt fine. And anytime I remember I would start to feel like lightheaded or something, and I would just drink like a cup of chicken broth, and I'd be fine in like 10 minutes. Yeah, you just need more salt. Most people when they go low carb or keto, and they feel like I feel bad, I don't have energy, just have some salt, man. Your body needs it when the lower your carbs are.
There's this doctor on Instagram I follow, man. I keep forgetting his fucking name. He talks about that all the time. He's like, all you need is salt, like fuck caffeine, just drink salt. What's his fucking name? Dr. James Dinnick.
All right.
I love his stuff.
He's the one who he just posts memes, just like all like.
These.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with because people send that shit to me all the time.
Yeah. That's fucking funny. I love his market. Is the funniest thing is like you literally just take this and just copy it and like extrapolate it to your niche.
Yeah,
those posts always do the best. It's so fucking funny, man. So I literally just check his stuff out for marketing.
Yeah.
More so than for like doctor's advice.
But yeah, that's all. That's all.
Yeah. And I remember, dude, then about like 6 months after I started eating meat, I went to the doctor to get my testosterone checked again. And I went to my like house doctor in Austria. Like he knew me since I was a child, like in the village in Austria. And I come in and the first thing he says is like, "Are you taking steroids?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "If you're taking steroids, you got to tell me." And I'm like, "I'm not taking fucking steroids. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then, he took my blood and he's like asking me like, what am I eating? And I'm like, I'm eating 265 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you can't do that. You're going to get protein poisoning. It's dangerous. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he was like trying to convince me. And he's like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, I work with like a fitness mentor. He's like, who the fuck is that guy? He doesn't know anything. You can't, you can't trust everything you see on the fucking internet. And then the results came back and then he shut up.
Yeah.
Because they were all perfect.
Yeah, you got to look at the results, man.
Yeah, man. They were all fucking perfect. And this is like the typical thing with like some of those old school doctors. Like they're not up to date.
Yeah. And also, it's not, some of the shit is not necessarily their fault, right? Because, for example, that doctor that prescribed me statin medications, right? Yeah, if keto could have cured it, right? There's a lot of evidence to say there's a lot of evidence that shows that ketogenic diet improves cholesterol levels for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? It's even, what are you going to do, prescribe that? Like, how many people can stick to that? Like, I'm the only person I know I'm one of the only people I know who's been doing it every day for this long. Right? So they gotta prescribe shit for the masses. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And the masses are, the regular people, they just, most people suck at most things. So, but if you could just give them a pill and it's going to be better, that's probably actually the best advice for regular people, because you're not going to tell these motherfuckers, oh, exercise and eat healthy, especially in America.
Yeah.
You expect these, they're not going to do that shit.
Nobody's going to fucking do that
they
shit.
They can
man.
probably eat a pill once a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's so fucking insane. I feel like it's getting worse with everybody.
It is.
Fucking worse. Like focus, levels of focus, consistency, social dynamics, social understanding, working hard, work ethic, like it's all going down to shit for the average person.
You know what? Shit has been too good for too long.
Exactly.
Here in you from Ukraine?
No, Austria.
You from Australia? Where so there's always like a war or some shit going on over there. Motherfuckers always shooting missiles at each other, right?
Yeah.
And
that's what you guys think. Austria didn't have no war since World War II. Since we lost both world wars. Since we started and
you lose 2 world wars, man. You might become a pacifist.
We haven't done any of that.
Damn, no, that was smart move. Smart play, man. Yeah. Fool me twice. Shame on you. I'm glad y'all learned y'all lesson.
Legit started both.
USA, man. World War champs.
Yeah. You didn't start anyway. You want
back. World War champs.
You got the rings.
Yeah, man.
2 rings back to back.
But in America, things have just been so good for so long. Like, a lot of my American friends, both liberals and conservative, they're always complaining about shit here, but it's like so good here, especially when I hear young kids younger people talking about the economy and shit, and how bad it is. I'm like, yo, shut your bitch ass up, man. You don't remember 2008?
Yeah,
2008, motherfucker, right? When we had record unemployment. There was people with master's degrees working at Starbucks because everybody was getting laid off. GM almost shut down. Motherfucking
Detroit became a ghost.
Yeah. The government had to come in and save the auto industry and bail out the bank where the money is.
Yeah.
Right. It was super bad. But now we got the lowest unemployment rate we've had in 50 years. We got, according to the latest CPI report, inflation is only around just over 2%. Motherfucking, the stock market is hitting all-time highs. It's like, and this is the economy they're complaining about. Both sides, right? I'm politically agnostic, right? Yeah. But both sides are complaining. It's like, oh, y'all just got soft. You know what I'm saying? I remember 2008 when I couldn't get a job and my father fucking killed himself, and I had to fucking figure shit out under those circumstances. But they don't know hardship, man. That's okay. They'll learn. Yeah. They'll learn. Shit can't stay good forever.
The online space itself, how fucking easy it is. I mean, remember when we started making videos, man, you couldn't shoot stuff on your fucking iPhone.
No.
You couldn't do any of that. You had to edit things, man. There was no AI editing fucking software. all the cameras. I mean, I don't know how much our cameras are now, but all the first DSLR cameras were all like $5,000 and shit. It was really hard to actually start.
Yeah.
You needed to edit stuff yourself, and it's like nowadays you got an editor on your fucking phone. You edit shit like this. You slap it on Instagram,
bro. I had my first website. I had to use HTML because there was no fucking ClickFunnels or lead pages, no shit like that. Shopify.
Yeah.
I was coding a website to make a lead magnet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the actual HTML code, homie. So, like, when I hear these kids complain about shit, I'm like, all right, bro. Nah, it's so hard for you.
Dude, it's getting easier. Like, I bet, like, in a year, you just shoot a video on your phone, like a 20-minute YouTube video, you slap it in an AI, and it edits it completely for you with captions, like, things popping up, animations and shit.
Bro, we had to learn how to write copy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had to learn how to do everything. Like, these motherfuckers could just use AI.
Yeah.
I was teaching my students, I was like, yo, listen, check this out. I was like, yo, guys, if you guys, because they had a hard time coming up with captions. And I was like, yo, all right, just do this then. Just do this. Just go. It's fucking internet here. Oh, hold on, no. Jeremy got the internet. Hold on.
You got the Starlink here.
He got the Skynet.
Skynet?
No, no. He got the Skynet internet, man. So I ain't even gonna trip. No, but you got.
Don't even goon.
Oh, the Skynet ain't working out here. Fuck, I was about to show you some cool shit.
You don't have I have internet. No? I have 5G, bro.
Let me see what happened.
Oh, but no, I have 5G full on.
All right, hold up. Let me just see. This bitch don't want to get my fucking. Anyway, I was about to do something fun. But yo, you ChatGPT, they got ChatGPT. You can edit that out since it didn't work.
No, we're not gonna fuck it. It's Rob Hogg.
You could tell ChatGPT. I told them to say, yo, write me an Instagram caption in the style of YouTube superstar Brandon Carter. And it did it. And it just sounded like, I don't know why y'all all just don't do that.
That is so sick. we do it like that, but we don't say it in the style of.
Yeah, I told
we're
them
just
like me because it was funny. And it actually kind of.
But I mean, it knows you, right? Because like at a certain subscriber level, it probably fucking knows you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, you went viral on Facebook first, right? Didn't you have like 1 million followers on Facebook or something like that?
It was Facebook because that was back before Instagram was invented, before TikTok and all that shit. And I remembered when they had just launched Facebook videos, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna fucking come up," you know?
Fuck, man, dude, this whole RSD stuff, where it was like 2013.
Yeah.
When I remember company-wide emails that Tyler would write, it's like, oh, I believe the YouTube is the future. And everybody's like, yeah, crazy Owen, you're crazy rambling. Look at it now, man.
Yeah, man.
That's so fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like wondering what's going to be the next thing. I think it's going to be VR or AR, some shit like that. They're going to make it super accessible with just fucking glasses like these.
We'll see, man. I feel like they've been trying to make VR. How old are you, man?
How old?
Yeah.
34.
See, I'm 42, man, and I feel like they've been trying to make VR a thing since I was a kid.
Yep. Yeah, it's like the 90s, man. They had fucking...
Yeah, and I mean, maybe, right? It's just, I just feel like I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
They've been trying to make VR, but the technology is super
getting real
now.
good, man.
I can see AR before VR.
Yeah, probably. So a mix of that. I mean, it's going to be the same device. You switch a button, to like semi-transparency mode, then it's AR.
Yeah.
And it shows shit in your house. And then because I, at the same time, I'm like, VR, I don't know. I bought like the first PlayStation VR and it sucked.
Yeah.
The fucking cables and stuff. And then my brother, he kept telling me about it. I'm like, get out of here. And then he showed it to me a couple months ago. That shit has got so good.
Do you know one person with the Apple Vision?
No.
I don't know one human, and all my friends are rich, and none of them want it. That's what I'm saying. It's like I just don't know. I do have the Meta
Quest or whatever.
I have the Quest, and I like to work out with it. I play like games, the cardio games with it. It's like fun. It makes cardio fun, like the boxing game.
Is it real cardio though? Is it like
bro? Yeah, especially if you get like this shit called Creed, where you got to box. It's legit.
No shit.
You know, it's a game called Super Hot VR. It's pretty fun where you're shooting like in the Matrix.
Oh, I like the
But
shooting.
Yeah,
Shooting, I
I
think is sick.
sweat making that shit. And I tried to work in it. I feel like that it has some potential with working because you can make big ass screens and monitors, but it's like the lag. They got to fix the lag. Maybe they can fix that in time. But I got the Meta sunglasses.
Oh,
Ray-Ban joints. Now those are kind of cool because I can say, hey Meta, what am I looking at? And it'll describe it for me, or I can just say, instead of having to bring out my phone, I can just wear it and it'll translate another language for me.
Dude, I didn't know those exist.
Bro,
Do you have a screen inside?
there's no screen. It's speakers, so it's
Oh.
but it has a camera.
Okay.
I can take videos. It has some potential. I can see it doing something.
If it has a screen inside, like you can turn it on or off,
Yeah.
I think that's because nobody wants to wear this clunky thing on their head. That's the problem. I gotta, and the thing is, like, if you have glasses like me, it's like you have to put contacts in.
Oh, you can't wear contacts.
Thing on, I can.
Oh, okay. You just like,
but I'm sitting at home with my glasses on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I want to use the thing. Well, I gotta go to the bathroom, put contact lenses in. So that's just the barrier. But I think if it's just like glasses like these, and you just put them on, and you like, I don't know, show me Top Gun Maverick, and you just fucking start watching it, and it's connected to the internet and stuff, and it has a camera, that's gonna be the new thing.
Yeah, I think we're a ways off though, man.
Not too far. I don't think so.
Right,
I don't think we're too far, man. I think 2 years, 3 years, some shit like that. And then they're gonna do the Neuralink thing where it just gets straight into your brain.
Yeah.
You just get a thing.
So you motherfuckers wouldn't you the same guy you say you didn't want to take the shot, but you'll let them put a chip in your brain? I just want to be clear.
Here's my thought. Exactly the same thought. You'll have to, man. Okay? I'll tell you why that is. You'll fucking have to. The clunkiness of our language with our mouths, like I have to form fucking noises to communicate with you. When in reality, if you had Neuralink and I'm just sending you a thought like this, like, and we had a whole conversation, you know what I mean? The clunkiness of like, I have a thought, I have to put it in language, and I have to put the language in the physical movement, and the physical movement to you. You have to translate it in your ears. You have to translate the noise.
I mean, I hear you rationalizing it.
Yeah.
But you just told me you hadn't come to America because you didn't want to get the shot. But you're down to put a robot in your brain.
Again, you're gonna have. Now imagine you're the mastermind. We're the masterminds of Jeremy Haynes right now. There's like 2 dudes out of 50 that have the Neuralink, right? And they're like, and you talk to the guy at the buffet, right? He's like, hey man, well, how's the Neuralink? He's like, dude, I wake up, I do just 30 minutes of brain work, then I'm fucking done. And you're like, fuck, man, how much you making? And he makes more than you.
Hey, man,
less fucking work.
I'm gonna let you beta test it for us.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna beta test that shit. I'm gonna wait for the first couple thousand people. I think it's gonna be. Look, it's the same. Like imagine there's a guy who says, oh, he only uses his flip phone, right? Because he doesn't want technology, doesn't want Apple listening into everything. Yeah. How much shit do you get done because you have a fucking smartphone? How much of an advantage do you have compared to the flip phone guy?
I'm just, I guess I just think like every piece of electronic equipment that I have, it malfunctions from time to time. Mm-hmm. Do I want something in my brain? Do you want to be hacked? Getting hacking your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I know, man. I know.
Putting all these crazy thoughts in your head.
Figure that shit out.
Yo, man, I can hack hack Max and have now all his YouTube videos I talk about how dope I am.
That's actually so good.
You guys heard of Brandon Carr? I should buy his shit, man.
That guy. That's gonna be some real shit, man. The China, they were gonna fucking hack. Maybe they hacked already Joe Biden. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's all confused. That's why he moves around like a Roomba,
Yeah, I think he's just old, man. Maybe he's a fucking grandpa, man. Think about your it's a good thing he dropped out, but like you think about your grandpa. Can you imagine? Think about his daily task. He gonna take a few naps. He gonna wake up, man. Call his grandkids or something, man. This motherfucker's running the free world.
Yeah,
it's a difficult task.
How old is he? 80, 90 or some shit. I don't even know.
Yeah, man.
85 or something.
My mom is she don't like me say her age, man, but she ain't much younger than Biden, and she's tripping about getting on an airplane to come to Miami for Thanksgiving. So, as far as presidents goes, yeah, he's not fit. But as far as grandpas goes, he's killing this shit. You know what I'm saying? On a grandpa level.
Yeah. You got a son now, right?
Yeah, man. He's
What?
7.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Time flies, man.
I know, right?
I heard he speaks Chinese and shit.
He speaks a little Chinese. He's a little Chinese, little Spanish. He does math on the 3rd grade level. He could fucking he's super smart, bro. Like he's got we did an IQ test. It was like just under genius.
Wow.
Just underneath genius.
God damn it.
But his mom is super smart. Like I don't know if I could take credit for that. His mom had I met her in college, and she was on an academic scholarship.
Oh.
You know, then she got her master's degree or MBA on scholarship. So his mom is super smart. It probably came from her. You know,
that is so sick.
Yeah.
So what are you? I mean, dude, you're known to be like Google Calendar, hyper productive, do everything. How do you? Because I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend have been together for 8 years. We're like, let's get this kids thing done.
Okay.
I want 3 kids. I want to get a lot of them. I want to, I'm like 34. If I want 3 kids, I'll be 40 by the time probably the 3rd kid hits. And I'm always thinking, I'm like, man, I'm already fucking busy as fuck.
Yeah.
How can I still be a good father and have time with my son or daughter and, not, I don't want to be the father that's just working all the time.
You don't have to do that. Like, so for what is, because not only do I got my son, I have my cousin, he has 2 kids and he died like 2 years ago. But he was like one of my best friends. We grew up together. So it's like I'm like a father figure for those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's like calendar, man. You just it's super easy. Like it's super easy. You just plan every hour of every day. So like if I show you my shit, like my shit is like,
oh damn, it looks beautiful too. It's all like
it's color coded. The colors mean shit,
Yeah.
And so I just plan every hour. Check it out, man. I just plan every hour of every day, and that's how you get the most. That's how you squeeze more life out of each day. That's how you can accomplish way more.
I do that on Trello, not on calendar though.
Oh yeah, the reason I do it on calendar is just because it's a calendar, and but Trello has a calendar too. You can Notion links up with your Google calendar if you want. And I have my assistants, my team, they can put stuff around. So it's color coordinated. So like the stuff in red, they can't move. They can't.
Oh, sick.
But the stuff in other colors, they can move.
Okay.
They can move around if they need to.
Yeah.
Or they can put stuff on top of it that's more important.
Yeah.
But like today we got the map. Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking do that, man.
Yeah. And then it's like, so I plant how much time I want to spend with my son. So it's like I'm not trying to make more time with my son. I just put it in there. My girlfriend. People think that's weird, but I don't. I think the things is, for me, if it's not important, it's not in my calendar. The things that are important, I make sure they get done by putting them on my calendar. And it's malleable too, right? It's a living document. I can move stuff around. I can extend it, shorten stuff, And every time I say something like that, somebody types in the comments, "Oh man, all right, son, time's up," But it's like, you gotta remember, man, kids got bedtimes, man. Like, especially young kids, they have to, they sleep like 10 hours a day, young kids, and then they got school, maybe after school programs. My son's in all types of shit, like they got their own friends. Well, he's only 7, so like he's never not with an adult, but no, it's not. That has been a problem for me,
How much time you spend with your kid?
Oh man, it's it does make it easier for me because he lived. I'm divorced, right? So him and his mom, they live in Georgia, right? And we were all in New York, and that's one of the reasons I moved to Miami, because she wanted to move closer to her family in Georgia, and I didn't want to live in Georgia. And I can't just keep following these motherfuckers around the country, right? So I moved to Miami because it's close.
Yeah,
it's like an hour and a half drive.
Oh,
so I'm there maybe 2 or 3 weekends a month, and I spend the whole weekend with him, and then I block everything else on my calendar, and we talk every day. I bought him an iPad so he can FaceTime me whenever he wants, and we have scheduled FaceTimes too where we kick it, and I'm down there all the time. If there's a school event, I fly down there. I flew down there just to fucking chaperone one day at an event, and I'm fly there all the time.
Sick.
I'm rich though, right?
Yeah,
but most people probably live in the same city as their kids, even if they're divorced. But I just fly there. I take like 50 flights a year, mostly to see my son. And if there's an event or something going on, I just fly down there. I'm part of the school shit, so like I do shit at the school. When they need parents to come, I just fly down there, do some shit at the school, and then come back.
How do you get your son excited to not be a lazy fucking kid? You know what I mean? I see so many kids just hanging around their iPad. All they want to do is play video games or whatever. But your son doesn't seem like that.
He definitely likes his iPad for sure, and I found positive things about it. Right, he knows. You know how we learn on the internet?
Yeah,
he learns on the internet. Yeah. Even though, so he it's funny. I was on Fresh and Fit, and they tell the chicks name 3 states, and bitches couldn't name the states, right? My son will tell you the capital of almost every state. And yo, it's legit, man, this is fucking insane. I'm telling you, almost every country he'll tell you the capital of. He just, you know, like he knows shit like that from, there's like videos where like motherfuckers singing about it and like singing about states. So like I don't know, man, I've curated his internet experience. So he's actually like learning, but it's fun for him.
Yeah.
But also he likes to get outside and get after it. Like when we hang out, we go to the motherfucking trampoline parks. We do shit. Yeah.
I saw the review you wrote. Oh, the trampoline park, man.
But we get it in, man. But I think of it like ever since I had him, I thought about like, oh, I'm gonna use this kid as a workout device. So, I used to wear him on when we were in New York. I used to wear him on my chest instead of fucking stroller. I'm gonna wear this kid, and he's a weight vest. So now we walking around the city. You know what I'm saying? I'm tracking my calories.
That is so good.
He's enjoying it, and even when we walk around now, his preferred travel method is to be on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So we walk around on my shoulders, and then, you know, that's a kind of a workout, man.
I love it, man.
And then, you know, I'm one of the only dads getting it in with him at the trampoline park playing dodgeball. I'm fucking
fuck everyone up.
Yeah, the fat dads is over there fucking all fucking tired, and I'm out here playing with their kids, no drizzy, and I'm hitting their fucking kids in the head with a ball, teaching the kids about life, man, teaching them about hardship. It's not always gonna be easy out here. Your daddy gonna let you win. I'm gonna crush you. I'm gonna teach you that it ain't all sunshine and rainbows out here, man, on this dodgeball arena.
They're gonna go home. They're like, I have a headache. This strong black man kept hitting me in the fucking face.
No, I tried not to hit him in the head. I that was a joke. I'm not out here hurting kids. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But
we're gonna cut that part out.
I have fun. You know, like with I do shit with him.
Yeah,
he just likes to get out, man.
Yeah,
kids like to be active. They love to play outside. Kids love being outside. I think it's the parents. You know, because kids, like, you ever see kids love to just go outside. Even with all the iPads and shit, it's the parents who are too lazy or tired or too out of shape to take them outside all the time, or they're preoccupied with other shit. Whatever I'm doing in my calendar, I'm only doing that. So if sun time, it's only sun time. I see parents on their phone, parents doing other shit.
Yeah,
it's not just the kids.
Yeah,
they learn by example. So when I'm with my son, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm just with him. You feel me? So it's like, I might take some videos, right? But that's different than, like, I'm not out here social media, and, you know. And I think it's the parents who kids live by example. You know?
That's a good point. When you have the calendar, though, and let's say whatever, you got like an hour block to do X task, and then you're like, fuck, I need like 30 more minutes to finish that.
I'll move it if I need to. I'll move it. Depends on what's next, you know.
Okay.
I'll move it. It's not rigid. It's a game plan, but the game plan will change based off the circumstances. So it's choreographed. It's thinking like you like. I'm assuming you like soccer because you're from Europe.
Yeah, it's decent.
No, that's cool.
We call it football.
I don't know. Do they have you play football? America? You call it football?
We call it football. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. I've never seen a soccer ball in real life, but I imagine that there's like really like plays that the teams are running plays.
Yeah, of course.
But the plays don't go exactly to the plan. You might have to alter shit in plays. That's what the calendar is like. You got a game plan. You may have to make alterations.
Yeah.
But it's better to have a game plan and change it than to just go out there and freestyle.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life.
You plan it the day before, the week before?
A lot of this shit is recurring. So a lot of the tasking are recurring, but then I'll look at it every week because the shit that maybe needs to be moved, or like this was in the calendar, right? So this is something that's different. This and the mastermind was something that, but we planned it. Whenever we planned it, I put it in my calendar, And remember, you were trying to ask me different times. I was like, my calendar, my calendar.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And but so I'll look at it every week and see the shit that's upcoming, and then in the morning I go over it. I might change shit around depending on what if something comes up or something. I look at it all day, every day.
Yeah, that's sick. I think I'm gonna start doing that. Like I said, I use Trello, but I use it without the calendar. I just use it based on tasks.
You just have a task. I do that too, but my task. So when I'm planning out a goal, I plan out every step of that goal, right? Everything needs to be done in that goal, right? And I put a deadline on it. But then I take the step, whatever task associated with it, and I estimate how long I need to do it, and then I put when I'm going to do it in the calendar. I think that's a big part of what people miss when they're planning their goals out. It's like, when are you going to do the thing? It's okay to have deadline is great, but if you don't block out the time when you're going to do it, then you're like you're almost hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to do that mentally. You're going to do it anyway, but you're freestyling if it's not in your calendar. So I do both. To your point.
Okay. So what are some goals that you have right now? Probably.
I don't tell people my goals.
Oh.
Yeah, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X when I was like 16, and one of the main things, my main takeaways was he said, never tell people your goals, because if you fail or change your mind, nobody knows. And it looks cooler if you accomplish it.
Yeah.
Right? You just do some shit. It's like, oh yeah, this whole thing.
All right. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Conversely, it's also like if you tell people your goals, you're being held accountable to yourself at least. You're like,
yeah,
fuck, everybody knows now. I need to work on this.
Yeah, I can see how that can be beneficial if that's something you need. You know, like I hold myself to a higher standard than anybody will hold me. Like people in my life, they'll be like, "Oh man, you did great," or that was good, And I'm like, "Oh man, I hold myself to a higher standard than you hold me to." So it really depends on the person.
Depends on the person. What I've seen a lot, like on this podcast tour, I've done so many podcasts in the last 3 weeks or so. What I've seen the most, the recurring pattern is of everybody that's really crushing it. They have both extreme arrogance and also extreme humility. It's that juxtaposition. It almost sounds like they're inversed, but both people say like, "I'm gonna win everything. I'm the best. I'm fucking gonna crush it. I deserve everything." But at the same time, they're like, "Fuck, man, I'm not working hard enough. I'm nothing. Fuck that. I gotta keep pushing more. I'm just a piece of shit." And I'm like, that's exactly what's going on in my brain the whole time. It's those two things.
I've heard that before. And I think I'm fucking awesome, right? But I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I just don't think they know that they can be as awesome as me.
Yeah.
They can do it too, right? Like I don't think I'm special. I think that's what it is. Like personally, I think I know I have a lot of deficiencies, and a lot of qualities that I would like to improve on. And
like what?
Man. There's certain things, I can be insensitive. I'm definitely messy in my physical world, like the mental world, like the plans and shit. I'm organized with shit I have to do, but like my physical world, a mess as a point. I'm not one of those guys that keeps everything neat and tight. It's quite the contrary. There's a bunch of other ones, but I know that with consistency and hard work, I can outwork that. Like my superpowers is I have a lot of patience, so I can put in work for a long period of time without seeing a result. And I know a lot of other people can't do that. So this is how I've been able to beat people who maybe even more intelligent than me, or maybe have more natural skills or talents in certain arenas, and I know I can outwork them to the point where I'll be running laps around motherfuckers if I go super hard.
Yeah,
and that's why I hold myself to that standard, because I know that's my superpowers. I can work way harder than everyone else. Not everyone else. A lot of people.
Most people.
Yeah.
When I joined RSD back in the days, I was 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I had exactly the same feeling. I'm like, I was looking at people like Julian, right? I'm like, I'm never going to have better game than Julian. Then I looked at Tyler and I'm like, I'm never going to be more philosophical, ranty than
Yeah.
Tyler. And then I looked at Jeffrey. I'm never going to be as charismatic as him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, well, why the fuck am I even here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to outwork them.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know, I don't like, I know for a fact that Julian can't work all the time. I will.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact Tyler goes to sauna. He goes to get his reishi mushrooms.
He has
when
an
he does
elaborate health
yeah,
routine. Yeah.
I'll fucking work.
Yeah.
Right? I know Jeffrey likes to chill. I fucking work. Every single one of these guys is incredibly talented. I was not talented at all. I just fucking outworked every single one of them.
Mm.
And then on top of that, what was always my strength is like when I'm scared or I feel like I'm being pushed into a corner, instead of drawing inwards, I would just explode outwards and work even harder. So every night when I would wake up, like, because for me it was really hard. I was going all in on that. I had no money. I had to borrow all the money to even make it work in the first place. That was like, I'm either going to fucking make that work or go back to the army in Austria, fucking sign back up to the army. That was like my plan B. So every time I woke up in the morning or at night, just sweaty and scared, I'd be like, laptop right next to the fucking open it up and work until I'm not scared anymore.
Yeah, you can outwork most things.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
I think when I hear your story, it's also like a lot of courage too. Where most people are kind of, you know, they let fear like stop them. You know, that's never been a big problem for me, man. Like, it's not to say I'm not fearless. I'm just willing to face the fear, right? The courage.
Do things despite the fear.
Yeah, and it's, you know, some people, like some of my students, you probably had this too, they fucking nervous to make a video or do a post or some shit. And it's like, that's another thing. I don't give a fuck what no one thinks. Like, and not like, it's weird though. That's part of my deficiency where I said I can be insensitive. It's because it's not like Tupac, yo, fuck what you think. It's not like that. It's more like, oh, I forget that other people have opinions about things. like it's not something I take into consideration. And that can be a plus in business because I'm not scared of what people think. But in my personal life, it can be, you know, it's like, oh, fuck, I didn't even take that into consideration.
Yeah, it's hard because I noticed that a lot with my girlfriend. I'm just I have this little office space. I got like on purpose the smallest room in our place is like a tiny fucking office because it's just pure focus. I have a treadmill desk there and that's it. And some awards in the background. And then I just work. And then I'm like, all day I'm just like fucking shit up, grind, just, you know, conquer everyone. And then my girlfriend comes home. Yeah. And she wants me to listen. Yeah. And she wants to be hugged. And I'm just like, fucking shit up, let's go. And I'm like, oh, I have to transition.
That's a hard transition.
Into being a personal human again.
Yeah, my girl doesn't even work, so she's there the whole time. And then she might try to talk to me and try to put that shit in the middle of the day. She's learned, right? But it's like, listen, I can't go from fucking, you know, beast mode to love mode.
Exactly.
I can't turn into a lover boy off and on. It's not a light switch.
My girlfriend, she comes to my office, and I'm like, why are you here? Like, is it urgent? She's like, yeah, it's urgent. I'm like, what is it? I have this cat video I want to show you. I'm like, God damn it, get out!
My girl, my girl learned that lesson.
Don't
early.
show me the fucking cat video, guys.
She doesn't even disturb me unless it's like. She's cool. And it was cool though because she's homo that she'll handle all the other shit like the house cleaners, balcony cleaners. Yeah. So she'll handle all that shit, and I'll just work the whole time.
Yeah,
know?
that's
so
cool.
That's cool. She make sure the fridge is stocked with all my shit.
Yeah.
She's almost like a house assistant.
Yeah.
You know
a beautiful house.
Yeah, big booty, fat titty house assistant that you could fuck.
The dream of every man.
Yeah. So it works. A dick sucking house assistant.
Here we go again.
My fault. Let me chill out.
I'm getting very much the vibes we had from the last collab video that we shot.
Yo, it's funny, man. My girlfriend she's Dominican, right? And she was we had some there was some workers in the house doing something, but she was like directing them, right? Because she runs all that shit. She like runs the house, right? With all the help and shit. But she had on like regular shit. She wasn't like looking nice. She wasn't looking like she had a fucking multimillionaire boyfriend. She was looking like she was wearing like work shit. Like
Yeah.
she was like helping to move shit
Oh,
around
yeah.
and telling him where did he go. She was getting her hands dirty, and then at the same time, Keno body, like the whole
Greg,
body,
yeah.
he came
Shout out.
through. And he came through out the elevator. There's a private elevator in my crib, right? So like he came out and she grabbed the garbage bag she was with, and then the girl she was with didn't even acknowledge my girlfriend, just threw her shit in the trash, and they just walked. They thought she was the help because she was Latino, right? Yeah, she was Latina. She just like, oh man, my girl got so mad, but I thought that was the funniest shit in the world because I was like, I get it, but you. That was the funniest shit in the world to me. But I don't know, man. She ain't like that.
How did you meet her?
We just got mutual friends,
Oh, okay.
I have a affinity for big booty Latina women. So I knew and there's abundance of them, a surplus.
Yeah.
In New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's from New York, and I met her there. Yeah.
All right. How long have you guys been together?
It's been about 3 years. We was friends before that, like
oh wow,
yeah, like legit friends and shit. That was the homie, and then we both were single, and we was like, hey, let's see
do the
like,
sex.
Like that was actually like my homie. She would help me pick out gifts for my bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like that was she was the homie. Like on some like that was my dog. Like I would. Like she would be out, our girls, they'll be out, but they won't fucking post the guy they with.
Yeah.
Or I remember once I was watching the story and I was like, oh man, I see dude's leg. You might want to take it out, man. And get like we were like friends like
That's
that.
Cool. That's really
yeah.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
Really cool. So she knew you from the get go.
Yeah.
She was gonna get into and all.
Yeah, she knew what was popping.
So you put also hanging out with her, date night and stuff on your calendar.
Yeah, we do shit like that. Yeah, for sure. I have to, otherwise it won't happen.
Yeah.
Left to your own. That's a big thing for entrepreneurs. Left to your own devices, you'll just work on your business till you go to sleep.
That's the problem.
But you got to schedule time. That's why you got to schedule time with your family or even friends. Like Jeremy will hit me up. Or I hit Jeremy, I was like, yo, let's take the girls to dinner, like his girlfriend. And Jeremy was like, when you want to go? I was like, let's do it this time. I looked at my calendar and then he said, where? I said, let's do Mastro's, right? And then he sends me a calendar invite. Like,
I love it, man.
Well, but people, this might be good for people who think that's weird, but like at high levels, that's what it be like.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Like everybody I know at a high level, like multi-millions, it's kind of like that because their schedule's so busy.
Yeah.
Oh, what does the date night look like? We like to go to restaurants, basketball games. We might do some shit. Like I like museums. It might be events. So I get invited to events. A lot of times she comes with me. A lot of times when I speak, she's here.
Yeah, that's cool.
She don't work, so it's like it's whatever. When she used to work in New York, when we were just friends, we would just work and we would like kick it, just hang out and do shit. But it was like, man, she's like, I gotta work. I was like, oh damn, it's fucked up. So when we became girlfriends, like, yeah, you gotta quit that job.
I love it. Trying to do that too with my girlfriend. She won't let me. Because I'm also like, hey, like technically there's 0 reasons for you to go to work.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
You know what? There's a learning curve though, man. It's like honestly, it's probably cool that she works. Because she has something to do. Like chicks think they don't want to work until they don't have to work, and then they're bored all day. And being bored, if the human brain doesn't have a problem to solve, it'll invent problems to solve. And guess who the problem's gonna be? You know what I'm saying? So when she has kids, when y'all have kids, that make more sense because she'll have something to do. But right. If I was to do it again, I'd have told her to get a job just so she has something to do. I could hire a house, I can hire someone to add all the other shit.
Yeah, my girlfriend's Scandinavian. It's super crazy in their culture. This whole, she doesn't want to be invited either to anything. She wants to pay, but like the shit we go to is really expensive. So I'm like, I'm not gonna have you pay like $1,000 dinner. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna let her pay that. But she always insists. Which is a very cute gesture,
Yeah.
And it's super Scandinavian. And she would never want to be just like a wife that does not have her own thing.
Yeah.
And it's very much in her culture, which is very interesting. And I like that. And that's kind of like the reason why I want to give her everything. because she doesn't demand. Because she could have been like, could have come from her side, like, hey, I'm just not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't come from her side, I'm like, I want to give her everything.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of like the beauty. Also yellow. Hi. Yeah, everybody yellow here. Let's crush it. And and that's what I find interesting in that dynamic. And she's very much aligned in this regard, although her personality is completely different from mine.
Give me a hand, there it is.
What's your personality type?
You talk about Myers-Briggs?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was the same. It's whatever Ty's was. I remember we were the same one. Or me and Ty Lopez were. We were the same one. Yeah.
Did you do Ty's 4M test or 5M or whatever it's called? The motivations.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so there's 4 motivations. Okay, there's mating. Okay, you're driven by sex and relationships, money, movement.
That's me, money.
Yeah. That's me. Okay, freedom, and the 4th is mastery. Like that you want to be acknowledged for your skill set.
Yeah.
And you do this test. I mean, it's kind of a pseudo test. It gives you super fucking obvious questions like, do you sometimes think about buying materialistic things? Shit like that. But it's still cool to kind of break it down to these 4. And then for me, I'm like, it's all of them. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, everybody has all.
What do you? Because there's people like, oh, I'm mostly driven by materialistic things. Like, what do you mean mostly? I want all of it. I'm driven by relationships and mating. I'm driven by mastery. I'm driven by money, and I'm driven by freedom. I want to have it all. For you, you said it's mostly money, or do you think these are equal for you?
No, it's mostly money because I saw what can happen with like lack of money. The how it affects people. Growing up like in South Side of Chicago, it's lack of money is the root of all evil. It's lack of money, motherfuckers. When you don't have money's like oxygen. Right? Oxygen is the most important thing in the world, right? It's the only thing I can think of that you would die if you didn't have it after a few minutes. So money's the same kind of thing, but if you had none of it, at a certain point you would die. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to eat food or it's and also if you were to be strangled, all you'd be thinking about is your next breath. You wouldn't be thinking about your family, your girlfriend, nothing. You'd just be thinking about that next breath, right? Money's kind of the same thing. It's hard to think about anything else when you don't have money. Yeah. Right? So the thing is, we have enough money. I'm sorry, we have enough oxygen that we can take it for granted. We don't have to think about it. That's the amount of money I want to have. Enough that I don't have to think about it. Then I can focus on the other things. Once the money shit is then now that I have enough money, I can focus on my son. I can focus on other areas of my life. But also, money makes your decisions, man. Like, people say my family's most important. Well, the things you do for your family, you don't do the best for your family. You do the best you can afford, right? Your kids are the most important things for you. You don't give your kids the best. You give them the best you can afford. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it makes all your decisions. Like the way you travel. If you had more money, you would travel a different way. Private jet maybe, first class, or some people they take fucking road trips somewhere just because they can't afford it to take the whole family, right? You wouldn't do that if you had enough money. Yeah. It's the food you eat. You know what I'm saying? The reason the obesity, one of the reasons the obesity epidemic is so bad in America is because the cheap food is the worst for you, right? Yeah. But if you have more money, you'd eat better food, better quality food. You go to see the best doctors. Magic Johnson would be dead if he wasn't a millionaire when everyone else got HIV. He'd have died like the rest of them. And millionaires. The study that came out that said millionaires live, on average, 10 years longer than people middle class. And people middle class live 10 years on average, like 15 years average longer than poor people. But think about it. They can get the best health care. They can.
Of course. Yeah.
I haven't been sick in 8 years, right? But when my girl gets sick, the nurse comes to us. She's not at the urgent care with the fucking people with the STDs and the baby mamas and shit, right? Like they bring them. The nurse comes to us. Yeah. Like when I get my blood work done, the nurse comes to me. You feel me? It's different, and they live healthier lives too. And it was a study that came out in Georgetown, especially if kids are the most important thing. Wealthy kids had better outcomes in all areas of life
Yeah.
than poor kids. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? They got more connections. Their fathers can do stuff for them, and they have a different outlook. They don't have the same limited beliefs as poor people have. Right? And it's just if you really care about all the other stuff, you got to get money because everything you love costs money. And that's how I see it. Right?
Yeah.
That's how I see the world. And then when my father lost all his money, man, he killed himself. So I can really see how that shit. And then I saw the situation my family was in, dealing with that pain, plus being broke. It compounded. There's no problem you can't solve or at least improve with enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an epic guy, Brandon Carter. I remember us collaborating for the first time in like 2015 or something like that. And he's just been growing bigger physically and with his brand. Pretty insane. Anyways, you know what else is growing bigger? This podcast, because of awesome people like you who are always leaving likes, who are always dropping comments, and if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, who are always leaving us 5-star reviews. Why do so many people do that? Because it helps us, it helps the algorithm, it pushes our content out to more people, and then it eventually reverts back to you because it helps me get more awesome guests on for you for free. So if you haven't done so yet, drop a like, drop a comment, tell me how awesome I am, how much you like my yellow jacket, how much you love King Keto. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and now back to the episode.
Do you already think about when you die? I know you keep saying you're immortal, which I think is funny, man. I was saying you were gonna say it. What do you want your son to do? Do you want to give him an easy life, give him all your money? There's other extremes where people say I'm not gonna give any money to my fucking kids.
Now that's retarded because it's for me and you, right? We had to start we had to be 100% self-made.
Yeah.
But what if you don't have to? What if you can give them motherfuckers a head start? You know what happens when you give somebody a head start? That's like Donald Trump, right? His dad was a millionaire, and now Donald Trump's a billionaire. He was able to build off the foundation. Like you still instill the work ethic.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have to fucking start at rock bottom. Imagine if I didn't have to start at the bottom, how much further I'd be, right? That's how you get, it's difficult to instill that, right? If it's too easy, right? Because you hear about these kids who have late, but those are the ones you hear about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about I think Keno Body's a good example, man. Like his dad was like the Donald Trump of Canada, but he's still a hard worker. He still built his own thing, and he's still out doing. He still works super hard. So it can happen if you instill the right work ethic in it.
Yeah.
I was at I like watches, right? So I was at the Omega store. Me and my son we were going to a Lego place, right? And it's in a mall in Atlanta, and there's an Omega store. And I brought him. I'm wearing my son on my neck, and we walk in the Omega store, and I saw this watch I kind of liked, and I was like, "How much is it?" And he said, $10. I'm 10,000. I'm sorry.
Well.
Yeah, 10, yeah, same shit to me. 10,000. And my son was like, $10,000. That's too much, right? And I was like, yo, I put him off, man. I was like, yo, bro, never say nothing's too much money. You can have anything you want if you work hard enough, right? And I tell him that all the time. If you work hard enough, and I just keep instilling that to him. If you work hard enough, there's nothing you can't have if you work hard enough. Not there's nothing you can't have, not you're entitled to anything. It's always if you work hard enough. You get what I'm saying? If you want someone, like, hey, man, if you work hard enough, you can get it. I don't instill no limiting beliefs in him. He never hears me say I can't afford it. One, because it'd be a lie. It's a fucking lie, right? But even if I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't say that, you know what I'm saying, to him, because I wouldn't want to instill that shit into him. And, I don't want to instill no limiting beliefs in him. Yeah.
That's actually really fucking sick to
just
keep hammering. And kids are like a sponge. They soak everything up anyways.
And there was one time we went to Guitar Center because he wanted to get a keyboard. Nice. I play instruments, so I was super excited about that. And I took him, and he started fucking with this Gibson. I was like, whoa, man, don't mess that up, man. It's expensive. But then he said, you said we can have anything you want if you're hard enough. All right, grab the dick. Yeah. I mean, I get what he said. I just didn't want him to break the shit. Right?
Yeah.
Because it was like a fucking $5,000 guitar.
Yeah.
But it was like, I liked that he said, I was like, you right, man. No, you right. Yeah. Let me show you how to use this shit properly.
I fucking love it, man. Oh, legendary. Your son sounds like a really cool dude, man.
Oh no,
he's gonna be crushing, man.
I think he's gonna be better than me, because I think he's got a way higher natural IQ, and he's got a great mom who's like, she's dope. I got super lucky with that, because some people there's a lot of ways to fuck up a kid, and so like I just invest in the homie, you know what I'm saying? Send him to the best schools with, just invest in the homie. I think he's gonna be really dope, I mean, there's a lot. Anything can happen, right? Motherfuckers, he can smoke some shit, peer pressure to smoke some fentanyl, and then next thing you know, man, he's dope fiend, right? But I don't see that, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to put him on the right path, But he's gonna fuck up like everyone else. He's gonna make some big mistakes, and I just gotta be there for him as a mentor, Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it in terms of like a head start, giving them a head start. And like you and me, we had to build it from scratch because my dad was just pure middle class, lower middle class-ish. And I still see it. He has all the limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Don't have anymore. And it's really funny. Like the whole time, like once I started really working hard in my 20s, I started this is really weird. Part of me started looking down on my dad.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do the things that I did. Because he's fat, he's out of shape, and I'm like, get out, fucking stop being lazy, dad. But he's 60, he's not gonna fucking. But
they're people, man.
Exactly. And then I heard some really interesting stuff from Justin Waller. He said, we gotta give our parents some slack because they don't have access to the information we have access now, and that really put things in perspective. Of course not. My dad knows nothing about fucking. He barely knows how to fucking turn his phone on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's interesting. And then I remember when, throughout my 20s, there were certain milestones, certain events that helped me really excel very, very fast. It's almost like, you kind of like working a little bit and it's a little linear, and then you do one thing or you have one idea and that excels, especially with income. So I remember, for example, the first big change in my income was when I went from offline coaching to online coaching. I brought out my first digital product, The Natural. It made me my first million.
That,
I
remember that.
I was sick. And that was one big one. And then the second big one was when I started doing online high-ticket stuff. I remember you actually told me about that. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that? And then we did a video in Vegas.
Yeah.
Where I taught that guy to do high-ticket shit. Now he's fucking making millions, man.
Yeah.
That might actually have been the last time we hung out, I think, now that I think
it was.
2008, 19, something like that. So that was the second one, doing high-ticket. And then the third one, I would say, is figuring out cold traffic. And then that kind of goes along with figuring out how to hire and retain really good sales staff. What were those things for you? Because you've been in the fucking game for a long time.
Yeah.
What were the bigger game-changing events for you?
My shit was super gradual. There was not like a lot of big, this happened. It was just gradual over a long period of time. There was never any, I mean, if I had to put things that put it in motion, but even those, the acceleration of those things were gradual,
Really?
It was just like a slide. It's a real. It wasn't a steep incline. It was never anything exponential for me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
Chipping away at it every day, just consistency. I never had these big moments.
Did you ever have dips where you where shit was going down and you had
to fix always. Nothing goes straight up in a straight line.
Yeah.
There was. I remember, man. There was maybe like 2016 or 17. It's like we were we made $1 million. We were making like over $1 million a year, but I wasn't able to pay myself those years, right? Because I was still learning staff. I was still learning how to manage that kind of money. Is different, and I made a bunch of mistakes. So like I was like kind of living fucking month to month, even though we had a multi-million-dollar business, and I was paying my staff more than me. Because, as an entrepreneur, you get what's left. Yeah. Right? Still, these people pay the salary, and learning leadership, that was a learning curve. Like leadership at a high level, because I only was accountable to myself, especially as a solo entrepreneur. But once you have a team, now you got to learn to be a leader. And there was a big learning curve there. And then even as we were successful, like there's things go behind the scenes, you get like some fucked up employees who do some like whack shit, or business partners do some whack shit, or you make some huge mistakes that cost you money. All that is part of the game, and it's normal. Never dips that were like never anything that was life threatening because I've always. It seems like I say I had a lot of courage, but I'm not. I'm more risk averse than a lot of people may think. You know, I always have not a plan B, but I have contingency plans for everything. You know, like for everything. So I've always been big on saving money, like putting money aside and investing it. So half of every dollar I make personally, I put aside. So when those things happen, I can get away without paying myself because I had a fucking nest egg. You know, I had a safety net.
Yeah.
So I've always been big on that. You know, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like I always protect the downside. You know, so it's like I'm going super hard on offense, but there's a defensive element too, and that served me really well. That's why you see some people fall off after like it's been in the game as long as me, like 10 years. It's difficult for someone to do shit for this long because they don't protect the downside, or sometimes they get arrogant.
Yeah.
And they start thinking they can do whatever they want, and not me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know anything can happen, and you know, their life is gonna be like a series of tragedies, man. There's gonna be everybody. There's always gonna be the next tragedy is around the corner.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be tragic. It could be like a setback, but it doesn't have to be tragic if you protect the downside. You know, if you have like money saved, if you have defaults, you know, things to fall back on. Not different plan. Never change the goal. Like I never have a plan B in that sense. I have another way to win the war, but it's never like I imagine if the D-Day invasion of World War II didn't work, they had another plan, but the plan wasn't, hey man, maybe we can get along with Hitler, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
there are
you know, Hitler got some good ideas, you know. Like I don't think that was plan B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think they had another way to win the war.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's so I never changed the goal, but my route to get to it, I usually have several different routes to get to it. If this one doesn't work, I'll do this. This one doesn't work. It's never like all my chips on red, you know, but I still want to win. I'm still going to win.
I mean, the funny thing is with entrepreneurship, the worst thing that can happen is you just fire all your staff, put your expenses down to zero.
Yeah.
Just do things yourself, and you can still make like $100K a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because that often mind fucks me in my head too, where like you said, I'm very risk averse. I'm like, should we do this? Should we invest here? I don't know. You know, we'll have less profits, but fuck it. And then I'm like, but what's the worst thing to happen?
I think that all the time.
Is I'm just on my Instagram, I'll make a post. I'm like, hey, work with me 101.
Yeah.
Build this for you, $25K. I sell to 3, 4, 5 people, and I make $100K a month.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think, that's what you said, what's the worst? I always think, when I'm making a decision, what's the worst that can happen, right? Then I think, can I handle that? And if the answer is yes, I'll probably do it. Right? If the answer is no, I probably won't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can I handle the worst? Maybe not. Right? But if the answer is yes, then I'll do it. And the answer is typically yes. Then I think, what can I do to ensure that doesn't happen, or at least mitigate the negative effects of it if it does happen. So I set all that shit up, and then it's like, then I can move with more confidence. But it's like I've planned it out in a way where I've accepted the risk. So it's not like, it's like, hey man, we're gonna go on after this. If it doesn't work, we got this thing on the side. We got contingency plans, you know.
The other thing also that on top of these contingency plans is like, because you mentioned savings. I have a shit ton of savings, but I act like I don't have any.
Yeah, you can't get comfortable with that.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
I'm just like, because some people don't like to put pressure on themselves. I'm like, I can't even work without pressure on myself. I have to put extra pressure on myself just by I act like I have zero fucking savings.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is just make more money. In a weird sense, you know this whole thing about like low vibrational energy, high vibrational energy. Like, if you ever read Frederick Dawkins.
Yeah. Frederick the homie. I don't know him, but
he's the best, man. I fucking love his stuff. And I'm often like, my mind functions better in low vibration energy. It's really fucking weird. Yeah, for example, when I do copywriting, I can't be like in a loving, happy mood.
Yeah.
I can't be like, I love everyone. No, when I do copywriting, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck everyone up. Let's go.
He says that that too high vibration is not the best for making money.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because like levels of energy, it's like sometimes when your shit is so high, it's like that's like a fucking monk. That's like, Dalai Lama shit, like, it's like you don't even need this shit. So and it's like he said I think he said like the 300s. I don't want to get too deep in that, but like that's like the best as far as making money is concerned. Being
300 what? Oh, the number. Okay. What is the 300? Is it
that's
creativity
like,
or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't have it memorized. I have a screenshot somewhere in my phone, but it's like where it's you're not in that negative vibe. You're not hate but it's more like
conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Spiral Dynamics. You ever read that?
I tried to read it, but I didn't like it. I like Frederick's shit better than
I like that
Spiral
too.
Dynamics. Yeah,
I met the guy before he died. I forgot his name because Owen brought me to his
event.
He was already pretty old.
Yeah,
and it's like the different colors, and it's I think like purple or yellow that is conquer shit, get shit done, and then after that is green. And green is like, oh, I just want to be on a farm.
Like peaceful, yeah.
Peaceful, exactly. And it's funny because you see that with a lot of marketers. Remember Six-Pack Shortcuts?
Yeah.
The Asian, was he Asian?
Yeah, he was Asian.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't get much more Asian than that.
You can tell with him, he was like purple, yellow, full on, crush. And then he quote unquote won the game. And then he starts going green and he's all like chill. Same with Sam Ovens. Sam Ovens dominated everything. That's all purple, yellow, whatever. I forgot what.
Yeah, he was living in Manhattan, which has that kind of energy. He lived close to me.
Exactly.
In the Upper West Side, yeah.
And now he's growing his hair out and he lives in a bungalow somewhere. I heard.
Yeah.
So I heard. And that's just full green.
He scaled his business way down.
Exactly.
Like he's like, I don't need to make $100 million a year.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's fine. It just depends on where you at and where you want
exactly.
to be,
The same happened to Ty as well. Ty Lopez is the same thing. He won the game. He literally, undoubtedly, fucking won it.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. At some point, like, everybody in the U.S. saw his face.
Yes.
And then he was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go get my ranch and just stick around. And I think so he was, like, operating in green for a handful of years. And now he's coming back.
Yeah.
Like, he oscillated back down, I guess.
It depends on what, you can win the game and you can pick a different game, like
Michael Jordan picked
Jordan
baseball or something.
Yeah, or like he's a business now. Like he bought a sports team, flipped it for he bought it for like a few $100 million, sold it for like a few billion.
No shit.
Yeah.
Sports team.
It was the Charlotte Bobcats.
What sports is that?
Basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, he bought a basketball team, then fucking sold it, like fucking quadrupled his investment.
How? But did they win championships?
They didn't win championships, but it's like the league became more profitable. They different TV deals, different shit. They got better for sure, and it's just he just improved the business started making more money. Like you do with any business, you buy it, you buy anything. It just appreciated.
I mean, I know you don't talk about your goals, but are you thinking of buying a basketball team or something?
A basketball team? I mean, that would be dope. But basketball teams are so expensive now that when basketball teams are bought, it's not one sports team in America when they're bought. It's not by a guy anymore.
Oh,
yeah, it's like people come together. Or like it's like almost like a private equity, a fund. Like they start a fund and buy a team, right? Because they're so expensive now. It's like you don't really see that in the last 5 years, and I could be wrong, but I feel like all the teams that were bought by like groups of people, and if that's not a goal that I set, but okay, you know what it is. You got to be honest with yourself about what you're willing to sacrifice to accomplish your goals. And I knew what it take to make my first $1 million. It took kind of everything. It wasn't easy, It took everything, It took everything, and to get to $1 billion, that would take everything. Again, and not to say I'm not going super hard now, but it's like I'd have to make some sacrifices that I don't know if I'm willing to make.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if I'm willing to make that. It'd be less time with my son.
Yeah.
It would be I'd probably have to dump my girlfriend and just go. Like I would have. I'm not saying there's other people who are smarter than me and they can do shit. They might have different talents and skill sets that I don't have, and it may be easier for them. But I know what I would have to sacrifice to get there, and it would be everything. Like straight up.
Billionaires are lunatics. I think you gotta be fucking psychopath to make a bill, because you make. Like from 10 million to 100 million, your life is already not going to change as much.
Yeah.
What's it going to change from 100 mil to a billion? What are you going to buy with it? You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe more jets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but you like the impact it has relative to the extra work you got to put in. It doesn't seem worth it to me.
At $50,000 a month, you can do almost anything you want.
That's what I'm saying. So
almost anything you want, like net income.
Yeah.
There's not a lot you can't do. You can't buy everything you want, but you can have every experience you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on a yacht as much as you want. You can fly private. At least once
with
a month.
Points.
Yeah, it's like. So then you're doing it for a different reason.
Yeah. And
I don't know if I have those motivations.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's okay,
yeah.
right? I definitely want more money, but do I want to be a billionaire? I remember there was one point I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger. And then I realized how long they had to go to school. Then they had to do the residency. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. And I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. And that's okay. And I'm cool with that. I don't lament the fact that I didn't become a doctor. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I'll do in terms of buying sports teams.
Okay.
I'll buy a fucking racing team.
Yeah.
A Porsche racing team.
Okay.
Porsche Cup.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm getting more into it than I thought, faster. I've had Suelio Alameda on. He's a creator. That guy is really sick. I've had him on a podcast 2 days before he won the fucking championship. And he's a sim racer, right? So he just fucking grew up playing video games, basically. Then he started doing sim racing, and then he's like, and he was a professional musician before that. He's like, this is just like playing piano. It's like you master the technique, yada, yada. So he made this whole YouTube channel. He has like a little coaching program where he teaches people how to do sim racing with, where you have the steering wheel and the pedals. And then he's like, and he made a ton of money from that. He's like, I'll buy a real racing car, like a racing car, not a street racing car, like a Ferrari, but like an actual racing car. I'm going to buy one and just start racing in real life. And all the real racing people, they didn't respect him. They're like, oh, you fucking video game nerd, fuck out of here. He fucking won the championship, man.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. And he documented all, which is super genius because his brand is blowing the fuck up now. Document a whole YouTube video. It's like I sent you the video, pretty much, right? It's like a 50-minute video of him, and then they all conspire against him. He has to like race like 3 other guys, and they all want their buddy to win against him. And he fucking wins.
Oh, shit.
And he's already like, he's like, dude, you know what, man? Like, Max, like, we've been talking, and I know you're making a bunch of money. Like, that you could sponsor my team if you want. And I'm like, fuck, man. I want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Put your name on it, Max Tornow Racing.
Hey.
Get your own fucking team, man. I don't know. I don't think it's going to make you any money, but
it's something you want to do, man. You spend your money however you want, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you work this.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
You hang out at the fucking race. They're like, what do you do? It's like, I'm the owner of motherfucking Max Tornow.
That sounds like some racing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real fucking shit, man. That's why I told you got to get into Formula 1, man.
Yeah?
It's the shit. They're doubling down on the U.S., man. I bought a shitload of stocks when they went to the U.S. because I'm like, you guys are going to soak that shit up.
Yeah, I mean, America is more about NASCAR, but that's because what we had.
Yeah.
But man.
NASCAR is fine and all, but that's like just driving in circles, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a circle, dude.
They did a big Formula 1 race in Chicago last summer, I think.
No, it was not. It was Indy race.
Oh, Indy race.
Or you mean in Vegas? They did a big one in Vegas.
They didn't do one in Chicago?
No.
Okay, I knew they were doing some in Chicago because my sister was saying that the streets were all fucking crazy because they were doing it in the city.
Shit.
Yeah.
It could be, man. No, maybe they did like a promotional event where they just had the car driving around there or some shit.
It was something. I know. She told me mad streets were shut down for that.
Sick. Yeah, they do street races now all the time. They have a street race. The one in Vegas is a street race.
Yeah.
And it's really, really fucking sick. Also, when you drive yourself, man, it's such a... That's one thing I started doing because, like you said, when you're just being left alone with your own, without a plan, all you do is just work all day and then you go to fucking bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the same for the last like 6 years. I realized I'm like, I got no hobbies, man. I'm like, what am I like?
Don't you play guitar?
Yeah, but I'm not playing it once a month.
Yeah,
It's not like I did I have hobbies that I do every now and then, but nothing where I'm like, I do this daily or like at least weekly and there's like a progression. I didn't have any of this thing. I'm like, what the fuck happened, man? I used to have so many hobbies and passions. And then I'm like, and then I saw my friend, Bastian, he used to travel with me. Actually, maybe you met him. I can't remember. Anyways, and he's also an entrepreneur. He's like 2-3 businesses. And he just DJs like an hour a day after work, you know? He has his scheduled. And I'm like, DJing fucking sucks. I would never do that. But what's my equivalent in that? And then I started sim racing. Hey, I bought myself a fucking sim rig. And I'm just like, you know, an hour, 30 to 60 minutes a day. I just fucking sim race.
Yeah.
And it does something for the brain because it gives you this occupation that is not constantly business. I got so many fucking ideas and things that I need to work on that I just write down while I'm doing the sim racing.
Here's your mood. Yeah, I play guitar still.
No shit.
I have acoustic guitar and an electric guitar right by my work desk.
Oh, sick.
You know what I'm saying? I have a little
Grab it.
practice amp. And I just, you know, sometimes I grab it between meetings, you know, or so I play throughout the day, and it calms me down. It calms me down, it improves my mood. It's fun. You know, I still out here buying pedals and shit. I make most of the music on my YouTube videos.
Oh,
like
no
the
shit.
beat.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I did not know, man.
I've been doing that from the beginning because we didn't used to have all that royalty-free music back in the day.
Yeah.
So I would just make it. Like 10 years ago, there wasn't all this royalty-free music you just get. So I would just make the shit. And because it was easy for me to just break out the keyboard or the guitar and just throw together. It didn't have to sound like some shit that motherfucking Drake would rap over, right? It just had to be some chords, some beats, bass, you know what I'm saying? Just for the energy of the videos, right? And I still do that shit to this day. Just for fun, you know?
Sick, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking so much about it, like, should I start playing more frequently again? I used to be super competitive on the guitar, man. I used to want to study, but that was the whole idea.
Yeah.
To get to the Conservatory of Vienna, which is one of the most prestigious conservatories in all of fucking Europe.
Yeah.
Learn jazz guitar and then rock guitar.
Yeah.
And that's how I got tendonitis.
Oh.
And all the doctors said I can never play again in my whole life. And that's what made me really depressed. And then out of that depression, I was like, I'm depressed because I don't have a girlfriend.
Nah.
That's how I got into this whole dating advice.
Yeah.
It's really funny. That was the instigator of it.
Yeah, man. Man.
What's your style on the guitar? What do you play?
I play like neo soul, fucking R&B. You know, like that's or whatever kind of beat whatever track I make. You know, there's a lot of rap music with guitar in it.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know because you don't think about it like that. But you know, think about when the most lose yourself. That's a guitar.
That's right.
You know,
Chords. Yeah.
50 Cent. 21 Questions. That's a guitar riff.
No shit.
It's a clean electric
Oh,
guitar.
yeah.
There's a lot of guitar and hip hop that people don't think about. A lot of times it's played on a synth. You know, but sometimes they sample real guitars. You know, like
Do you rip some solos too?
I'm not great at that shit, man. I know the fucking pentatonic scale.
Yeah.
And I know just a few versions of that, and that's all I do. I'm not like good.
The solos, that's where it's at, man.
It's fun, man. But I'm more like I play a lot of finger style chord shit, you know, and I like you. I don't listen to R&B, right? But I like that's what I play when I get in the guitar. Like I start playing the fucking smooth shit, like motherfucking old 70s soul shit, motherfucking Ozzy Brothers, shit like that. Like that's what I like to play by myself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, it's all just metal.
Yeah, no, I know.
Fucking heavy.
You got a Metallica shirt on.
Oh yeah, fuck that. I do it, dude. That's one thing I do all the time, man. Going to fucking concerts, man. I see Metallica once a year.
Oh wow,
dude! I saw them this year. I saw them last year. We saw them in Paris, man. That was so sick.
Nice.
They played two different shows in 3 days.
Yeah,
different set lists.
Yeah.
So you go Wednesday, then it was a day off. We went to Disneyland in between, and then you go Friday again.
Yeah.
Different fucking set lists.
Metal guitars be the fucking best guitarists.
Those are the best.
They're almost like playing they're playing complex shit, but with
super crazy,
just super
shit.
dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Distortion and all that shit. And it's all like, dude, like the scales they play are all like
It's
classical
intense.
scales.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying.
Beethoven and Mozart, and but they package it with like distortion.
Yeah.
And then like crazy shit.
And I grew up in Chicago, so like I'll play like some blues shit too, you know, because Chicago's a big blues town.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah, like my favorite guitarist is John Mayer. I know, you know, he's fucking nice though.
He's good, man. He makes me depressed though.
Cause what?
Because he's so good.
Yeah, it's like that.
Because he's
You
not
would, like never be that good.
exactly. It's not the technique. It's just the feel that he puts in. I'm like, man, I don't know how I could fucking do that. You know? What
Yeah,
I mean?
I'll never. I mean, I don't know, never. But it's like that solo shit. If you hear me solo, it's not impressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're like, oh, okay, he's not the worst in the world.
Yeah.
But I'll play the shit out of some rhythm guitar. I'll play some chords that'll make you cry. You know?
What chord is that? Is it A major?
That's an open C, man.
That's the one.
You really want to finish up, man? Wait till I break out that open E minor. Then you'll be like, woo!
Oh, man, I feel it in my soul, man.
He played the shit out of that open G chord. Now I play like with the sound music I play is like a lot of 7 chords, nice nines.
Yeah, that is very in that direction.
That smooth shit, man.
Yeah.
Smooth, that player shit, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. When was the last time you ate carbs?
Christmas?
2023?
Yeah.
What did you eat? Cookies?
I had a butter cake at Mastro's.
Wow.
That's that shit. I had like 2 cheat days a year.
What's the other one? Thanksgiving?
Last year was Thanksgiving because I hired a chef, like a fucking dope ass chef to cook for my family, and because my mom used to do all the cooking, but she getting up there, and I was like, Mom, I just want you to chill, just relax.
Yeah.
Even though I love my mom's cooking, it was just like, yo, just chill, man. I'm gonna hire a chef, and and they were ranting and raving about something. I was like, I paid all this money for it, I might as well. And but I don't like to do cheat days because one thing I noticed is abstinence is easier than moderation. When you cheat on anything, any vices, if you're trying to drink or you're trying to smoke, or you're trying to quit doing anything, if you just cold turkey, it's easier because when you do it moderately, then you kind of tease yourself. You kind of want it.
Yeah, I have the same.
You have those cravings after it, you know. But if you just lying in the sand, I don't do this no more, you don't have cravings. Like I quit drinking alcohol like 10 years ago. No cravings, no desire. Initially you do, but then it goes away, right? It dissipates. I smoked cigarettes for like 15 years.
No shit.
Since I was like 14 to like,
shit.
Till I was like almost 30. And I quit because fans would see me, oh, you Brandon Carter, and you smoking a cigarette. And I was like, fuck. Not because of reputation, just because I noticed that people would do what I say or do what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm negatively influencing these people. Even though there's people in my family who smoke, do drugs, you know what I'm saying, drink all the time, and they live to be like 80. Like we're like a family of invincible motherfuckers. Everybody just dies of natural causes or gun violence, and but like it's hard to kill these motherfuckers, right? They don't take care of themselves or nothing. And like my grandma drank Coca-Cola every day. No, Pepsi. I'm sorry, she's like Pepsi every day, and she didn't watch a diet, didn't exercise, lived to be 96.
Dang.
Right? So it wasn't going to affect me. Right, I got an 80-year-old uncle who smokes packs a day. Cancer has to run in your family, right?
Yeah.
And the gene has to be activated. But so I knew it wouldn't affect me, but it would affect them, most people, right? So I quit for the fans. I quit for y'all.
Shout out.
Yeah, and then but initially I had a lot of withdrawal symptoms, but then it went away, and now I don't crave cigarettes anymore. You know.
How was it with? Because you say you smoked until you're almost 30, so you were already fit.
Yeah.
Handling your macros. How was it when you quit smoking? Did you have more food cravings?
No, I only had nicotine cravings.
Well, no shit. Okay.
I still like nicotine though. I'm wearing a nicotine patch right now.
Really? Where?
Yeah, on my shoulder. I'm not because I'm trying to quit, because I enjoy it.
I've been trying to get into this. because it helps with focus and shit.
It
which
does.
I never knew. And
There's a lot of
for me,
studies.
with creativity too.
Yeah.
I get like all kinds of crazy content ideas. For me, the deadliest combination is coffee and nicotine.
Yeah.
Caffeine, I don't drink coffee normally. So when I do drink it, it feels like
I love caffeine.
insane.
That's my main vice. I love caffeine.
How much do you drink?
Man, I take about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
How much is 1,000? That's like 5 coffees, 5 Red Bulls.
It's more. Yeah.
How much
Coffee
is the
has like, I don't know. Yeah.
Holy
Red
fuck.
coffee has more caffeine than Red Bull.
So you drink like
Yeah.
12 cups of coffee or some shit.
Something like that. I take it in like pre-workout form or like Celsius. I just pounded a Celsius. That only has 200 milligrams of caffeine. But I'll take 1,000 throughout the day. It's not advice.
Yeah.
It's just what I've been taking caffeine a lot since I was a kid, since I was like 16. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy it. But I don't drink any alcohol or anything like that. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you got to pick something, I'd rather have a caffeine vice than alcohol, gambling.
Yeah.
I don't do no recreational drugs, none of that shit, you know.
Do you still feel coffee at all? Like, do you feel a spike in the energy or whatever?
Well, you know, you got to up the dose. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but now
that's why
you
my
gotta up it even more. All the
my
time.
tolerance is super high. That's why I can take 1,000 milligrams, where your eyeballs might start twitching if you take that much.
I drink 1 coffee and I'm getting euphoric.
Yeah,
I start calling my mom, telling her I love her and shit like that. That's literally how I've my body feels everything.
Yeah.
Dude, I eat like fucking berries, blueberries.
Yeah.
And I feel the carbs or the sugar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I get high from that. It's really funny.
All right.
I drink a glass of red wine at dinner, I get wasted. I get drunk. My girlfriend's Finnish. They're like in their genetics to
Yeah.
get drunk all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't, but it's in their genetics. She laughs at me all the time. I drink 1 fucking glass of wine.
Yeah.
I waste it.
Nah, yes. It's
And I'm
just,
hungover instantly too.
especially because you don't do it all the time.
Exactly.
So you don't have you're more sensitive to it than somebody who's
Super sensitive.
who's like drinking it frequently.
But it's funny, I didn't used to, man. When I was 16, in Austria, drinking age is 16. So you start drinking when you're like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I would drink like 20 beers in one day
Yeah.
with my buddies. You know, like summer, nothing to do. All we would do is we would sit in the garage with like wooden chairs, sit in the garage, play metal on a shitty jukebox, or one guy would have like a phone, but that was not smartphone. That was like the mono sound phone. We'd play metal there and just buy a 24 pack of beer, but European beer, so 0.5 liters, and we just chug those. And I wouldn't give a shit. And then same with coffee. I would drink coffee and I could go to sleep. Now I drink coffee any time after 11 a.m. I can't fucking sleep at night.
Yeah, I go to sleep at like 9 or 10. I'll take a pre-workout at 7.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you know, just
Do you still have dude, you used to quote unquote, sponsor me with your pre-workout.
Yeah, I
Cherry pre-workout. Do you
Yeah.
still have those?
no.
Those were sick.
I had an exit on that company. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
those were the fucking best.
Yeah, I miss that because I used to enjoy like promoting it and making ads for it. I kind of miss that sometimes.
How come? Cause Kino Body does his own,
Yeah.
the Mojo and everything. How come you don't do supplements, man?
I had an exit.
But why don't you do new one? The Brandon
I'm pretty
Carter.
focused on what I'm trying to do now.
Mhm.
I flirted with the idea before. Maybe in the future again. You know, if I did something, I would want to do something like special. You know, some special,
Like what?
some sort of nootropic shit. You know, some shit
Dude.
for like the hustlers. You know,
I'll buy it.
yeah.
Hey, when you have it, I'll buy it, man. Send me some shit. I'll promote it.
If I can have something to make you fucking work harder. You know, like and I take a lot of supplements to increase my focus.
Yeah.
And I would need something based around what I actually take, or maybe even better. And then it's like people get, you know, because people have a hard time focusing, having energy, and
Especially now, man.
Yeah,
I think that market's getting bigger,
the market's
man.
huge, man. Motherfuckers can't focus. Yeah.
A friend of mine, he has ADHD
Mm-hmm.
or ADD, and he was visiting us in Cyprus, and he got what was it called? Ritalin, I think.
That shit, yeah,
And I'm like, give me one of those. Holy fuck.
yeah.
Yeah. 3 hours, man. I took him in before a podcast.
Oh, that was like a fucking 5-hour
Wired. I was wired,
Yeah.
man. But you don't feel it. It's just the output's just there.
Oh, I never taken Ritalin. I take Adderall.
Or Adderall. One of those.
Adderall, I feel the Adderall. It's a euphoric state. I mean, it's amphetamine, right? It's like a few molecules away from fucking speed.
Did you read?
Yeah.
Dude, have you? This is the craziest shit. I read this book recently called what's it called? It's about World War II, how all of Germany was on fucking amphetamines. Blitzed. It's called Blitz.
Really?
Okay, get this. So
That's why they were tripping?
exactly. Literally. So you could buy, it was called, forgot the name of the drug, Pervitin, okay? It was literally amphetamines, okay? Literally amphetamines. And you could buy it, like a kid could go to a pharmacy and just buy it. It was like a cough syrup back in the 30s and 40s. So this guy who makes the Ritalin, okay, he fucks around with it and he realizes like, oh shit, like you can work really hard. People don't want to sleep. They feel great. They're really fired up. And then we all know how the Blitzkrieg started, how Germany started invading Belgium. And they're all like, they had the tanks would just roll through Belgium all the way through France, all the way to Dunkirk. And everybody was like, oh, that's a great feat of like technology. And the army was there. Turns out the Germans, they were looking at their plan, but they couldn't make it work. They were like, okay, we can go through the Ardennes forest with our army and with our tanks. But the only way where it could work is if we do it 3 nights in a row without letting everybody rest. And that was a problem. They didn't know how to do that. And then the guy who made Pervitin, he was like, oh, I know how you guys can fucking do that. Literally. So they were like, they tested it and they're like, oh shit, okay, so let's give all our tank crew a shit ton of Pervitin so they don't sleep for 3 days. And that's how they fucking did it, man. And then this is one of the most insane. I know you're huge in books. One of the most insane fucking books I read recently, man. And then it turns out they started giving Hitler that shit, and he started doing all these crazy fucking speeches on fucking amphetamine. And then he got more and more addicted. And then he took this doctor, and he's like, "You're now my personal quack, like my personal fucking doctor." So, and the doctor was like, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you supplements, right?" The fucking supplements was like some vitamins with cocaine.
Yeah.
Fucking intravenous cocaine. So this whole shit where Hitler became more and more paranoid.
Yeah.
And he started saying shit like, oh, let's invade Russia, even though everybody said he shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking coked up.
He was coked up.
He's like, fuck it, we'll do it, man. We're going to crush motherfucking Russians.
There's another book you'll like where it talks about that. It's called First Rate Madness. And they go into detail about what Hitler was taking.
Oh,
he was on all
just like that.
Shit.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that, yeah.
So sick. They found the notes, because they were Germans. They documented everything. They found the personal diary of his doctor. And he's like, oh, today Hitler felt bad, so I gave him 10 milligrams of cocaine. Like, crazy shit. Also, they didn't know, you know? There was not a Schedule 1 drug. They didn't even have Schedule.
Yeah.
It's fucking 40s.
They was giving him, he was on all, I mean, he was fucking coked up, man. Yeah. Coke, speed. He had like a crazy cocktail that he was on.
Yeah. That's all that madness, man. And then he got, once they ran out of it, when he was in Berlin, because it was all bombed, he got withdrawal shit, and that's will probably contributed to him killing himself, because he was just withdrawn. He's like, there's nothing more there.
Yeah.
Shit. And then there was this crazy fucking scene where, you know, Mussolini tried to get out of the war. The Italians were like, they were half invaded by the Allied forces already, and they were like, yo, we're not gonna want to be part of the Axis forces anymore. So Mussolini wanted to get out, and then Hitler was like on a speaker tour already. He was like strung out, tired, and he took a 6-hour train down to Italy, and he was tired, and he had to go talk to Mussolini. So he was like, they were like, oh, we got, you know, our Führer, he's tired, let's give him some shit. And they put some fucking cocaine in his veins, and then the diary says like, so I gave him the stuff, and he felt really good. He started firing up, and he started demanding more. He demanded more, so I gave him another dose. So he rushes into the palace where Mussolini is, and the eyewitnesses, they were like
Mussolini didn't even talk.
Didn't even talk. It was 5 hours. Hitler just fucking ranting at him.
I read that before. I read that shit, man. Mussolini ain't say shit. The village just fucking yelled at him for fucking hours.
It's so insane.
Listen, I may get a lot of flack for saying this, and I don't care what kind of pushback I get, but Hitler was a crazy motherfucker, man. A lot of people might not agree with me.
Oh, he's
but I think he was tripping. Yeah, I don't care what kind of pushback I get for saying that.
I don't know what you think my listeners are. What? I know you Americans are much more loose with that stuff. Talking about that kind of stuff.
What do you mean?
Talk about Hitler and stuff like that. Well, in Europe, it's very, 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 very.
Oh yeah, it's bad history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But back to that nicotine thing. So I tried vape smoking nicotine.
Yeah.
And it's just it's super unhealthy. Yeah. I probably put some shit in there, like the ones you buy ready.
Yeah.
Like the one-time use. Then I tried nicotine gum. I literally threw up from it.
It gives me a stomach ache.
Yeah, it feels. First of all, it scratches the back of my throat. It feels really weird, and I literally just threw up. How does the plaster thing feel?
The patch, man, it feels great. It just feels like a constant drip of that.
But you don't feel like you gotta
nicotine.
throw up or anything.
Nah,
I feel like
you
I
don't.
throw up all.
It goes the body because it's not going to your digestive system.
Fuck it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's bypassing that straight into your bloodstream.
How many the dosage?
I get the highest one. I just wear it. Like you're supposed to, if you're trying to quit cigarettes, then you would like scale down. But I just get number one.
How long does it
All
last?
day, man.
All day?
Yeah.
You just get a constant influx?
Yeah.
Does it spike at first and then wear off?
Nah, it just seeps through all day, man.
Bro, do you have one here?
I might have. I'll look for one. Yeah,
Bro,
I'll
I'll
probably
try that shit. But I'm so scared that I'll throw up or something.
Nah, because not.
Yeah, we did the gums on the podcast. It felt like shit.
Oh yeah.
Fucking nicotine gum.
I would have to find it to get.
Yeah, okay, no worries, man. But can you just buy it at the pharmacy? You just walk in and buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. What?
Oh, the Zen. People like the Zen.
Is that good?
Like
You tried it?
all my white friends are doing the Zen shit where they put it in their mouth, but it's like it wears off. I like this shit. I can keep it on all day.
Do you have it on at night as well?
No,
It's
I
like
won't
it
be able to
feels
sleep.
better or something? Oh.
Like there's been times because it won't wash off in the showers because I shower before I go to sleep. And sometimes I forget that I had it on, and then it'll wake me up in the middle of the night.
It just riles you up too much. Or
Yeah, I just be like up, and like in the middle of the night I wake up and like fuck, and then I'm like, oh fuck that goddamn patch.
How long does it take to get back to normal once you took it off?
I don't know, man. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm probably gonna be up for a while. So it really disturbs my sleep if I wake up. That's what. So I usually say sleep. I'm good at sleeping. I say sleep.
Is it true that you have waterproof headphones so you can listen to shit in the shower? Is that really a thing?
So I had, there was one point I had to kind of like, I remember it was like 2018, and I had to make a bunch of money to pay off some taxes. I was in a bed, like IRS had froze my bank accounts or some shit because I didn't pay taxes. It was my fault, right?
You just didn't pay
I
them at
just
all?
didn't pay them.
Like,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is a problem for future brands. And then it was a problem, and I needed to make a ton of money like super fast. So I was like, yo, give me all the sales calls. We went super hard with sales, and I wanted to close them at a super high percentage. So what I started doing was I bought 2 pair of headphones and waterproof. It was the Beats, the wraparound ear ones that were water resistant, right? And as soon as I woke up, I started listening to sales material, sales audiobooks, and then I would in the shower, in the bathroom, and I would basically anytime I wasn't on a sales call, I would be listening to sales material, right? I call it the immersion strategy, right?
I love
And so even if I got to walk to the CVS or walk to somewhere to sell shit, and what happened was, man, so during that period, my close rate was like 80%. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And high ticket shit too.
Yeah.
Right. And I've also been selling for a long time, but what happens is like the game starts to slow down when you start doing that. The game it's almost, like athletes say they're in the zone. That's what it feels like. You know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly what's there. You don't have to think about it. It's like it's not on you. It's in you. Like it's because you've been so immersed in it. And man, I was just on fire with the sales. And
Sick.
Yeah.
It's funny because we have a program where we do most of the ideation for our clients for content for short form videos. It's like an 80% done for you. And then they come into live calls with me, and in the live calls, I sit down with them every fucking week, shoulder to shoulder, and I'm kind of talking them through the ideation process. I'm telling them what's working right now. Oh, this week, this and this went viral. This is going well. This is what the algorithm does. And sometimes when a client is like, oh, I don't have time, or I'm not sure, I'm like, motherfucker, my buddy Brandon Carter listens to shit in the shower.
Yeah,
I'm like, I bring that up. I'm like,
yeah, do that.
It's like a thing. I'm like, you think you don't have fucking time? Buy a pair of fucking headphones that are waterproof.
Yeah.
Listen to that in the shower, man.
Yeah, so every time I doing that thing, when I was listening to the sales shit, unless I was on a call, I'm talking about while I'm eating breakfast,
Yeah.
while I'm
same,
eating food.
Same.
It was so when if I wasn't on a call with my son or with my girl, I was listening to the sales shit.
Yeah.
And
Exactly the same.
yeah,
Except for the shower. The shower thing I never did.
yeah,
But I eat a steak a day in the morning when I make a steak. It's searing 2 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other. Those 4 minutes, audiobook.
Yeah.
Audiobook, podcast, or sales call quality control.
Yeah.
That's all I fucking do.
And if you do that shit, man, I'm telling you, man, it's some changes. Like, you know it, like, inside and out.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about what to say. You just know it.
Yeah.
You know, it's instinct.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you did that immersion thing, because that's what fucks with me. That's why I don't do it in the shower or at the gym. Is like, because if it's some really good stuff, I want to be able to write it down.
Yeah.
So how did you do that when you're in the shower or something like that? Was your whole
I
strategy?
just go back.
Okay.
I just go back and write it down. You know, I'm big on taking notes, man. You're gonna see later today. I got an iPad Mini, right? And I use OneNote, and I have all these folders. And I just, like, if I really like a book, I'll underline it, mark pages. Then I'll go back and rewrite the notes in my. So now I have my own summary of the book.
That helps you with the retention.
Yeah, I do that shit with sometimes let's do a good podcast with somebody, man. Then I'll go back through it and take notes.
Yeah,
and then I can always refer to it. So I have this huge backlog of information if I need to figure something out. It really helped because one of my mentors is a dude named Kevin Hodo. He used to run the ads for Gym Launch when they was really blew up, you know. So, and he one who really helped me get good at Facebook ads, and I have all the notes from his. He died, you know, during the pandemic.
Wow.
And he was overweight and he got COVID, you know. But I have all the fucking notes, so it's like he can still mentor me. Anytime every time I want to, man, what was Hodo talking about, and I can go back and look at those notes. I have like all my favorite books in there written, you know. So it really helps me, especially if I'm making some content. I can go back and reference it without having to crack over in a book. I can just go in OneNote, find the folder with that book in it, or that lesson, or when I go through courses. Like, I buy everybody's course. It's something I've been through hundreds of courses, but I got the notes on them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So I can go back and find pieces. It's super helpful.
That's good. I have a Value Nuggets notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
So every time I hear like a podcast or an audiobook or a fucking quote, I'm like, that's just good. And you know what? I got one from you in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The buying luxury goods from your hard-earned labor is what we call a dumb man's move.
Yeah.
What you should do instead is you buy it from you hard-earned labor, you put it in the assets, and then
in the assets. That's how you buy it. That's how I bought my fucking watch. It's just, you know, all my jewelry, all this shit is from my assets. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So now, do you have a team that does most of the sales calls?
They do all the sales calls.
Oh, so you don't do any sales calls yourself anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore. Partially because I don't want to take food out of there. You know, you got to feed the wolves. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
You got to feed the wolves. Because if you don't feed them, they're gonna leave or turn on you.
Yeah.
You know, like I learned that from the streets. You know, like this OG.
What mentoring program is that?
Nah, it was an OG, and he had a lot of people working for him. You know what I'm saying? Distributing his product. And he was like, "Yeah, you got to feed the wolves."
What
man.
kind of products? Was it a medicine? Was it
chill?
Was it
supplements? That shit Hitler was on. You know? And but he was an OG, man. And he was telling, I would just talk to him, and he was like, "Yeah, man, these guys were like fucking real. The guys who worked for him were gangsters, right? You know, like they were gangsters." But he was like the top dog, and he was just like, "Yeah, you got to feed the wolves. You got to make sure your team eats because they're gonna eat." Are they gonna eat you, or are they gonna eat, what you feed them?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You gotta feed the wolves, and that's how I my sales team. You gotta feed the wolves because if they don't get enough fucking deal flow, they're gonna like start looking other ways. And I made these motherfuckers good, so they're not gonna turn on me when I made these motherfuckers good. So all this big investment that I put into training them. It takes a lot to train a good salesperson. And we don't hire externally. Everybody is hired internally and trained by me.
Yeah,
because motherfuckers be having bad habits, right?
Yeah,
and I've been selling since I was like 16, so I know sales really well. And statistically, I'm like one of the best in the world. There's people better than me, but statistically, on paper,
fuck yeah,
there's no other way to say it. So I trained all these people, and if they go somewhere else, then it's like fuck. It's like I train. God forbid they go to a competitor. So you got to feed the wolves, man.
How many setters and closers you got?
I got 5 setters. We do a 2-call close.
Yeah.
So like 10-minute calls are done by It's all girls who do my 10-minute.
Wow. Setters?
Yeah,
Setters are all girls?
all girls.
Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah, but well, you know,
For a reason, or it just happened to be like that?
I'll tell you, man. It's I used to keep this secret, but whatever.
Let's go.
It's because my target my demographic that I sell to is mostly men,
Yeah.
right? And just show rate, of a hot girl, so they just send them a video when they book a call.
Oh, that's
You know
so
what I'm saying?
good.
You get a higher rate show. So they're all like hot girls. You know what I'm saying?
Do they do outbound phone calls as well? for instance?
They do. No, we don't do anything outbound. Everybody kind of. I mean, they'll call people, but they gave us their number.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So someone opted it, but they didn't book
It's
a
never
call.
cold.
Just dropped the phone
Yeah.
number. And
So-
they call.
or they do that, or people like just book appointments with us.
Yeah, and then they have
Or
to
they
set up-
book us through my Instagram or whatever, and so it's all girls, and then they disqualify them, and then if they feel like they're a good fit, they'll get them to my sales guys, and we used to have 5, it's 3 now, man. 3 sales guys, and we just pack their schedules.
Yeah.
And the reason the last guy I had to let him go. He was really good too, man. I just had to let him go for other reasons, but he's really good. And I think he had other shit going on, and he just wasn't focusing. It'd be like that. He had some other priorities. But we used to have 5. 1 quit. He wanted to be a musician. Another one, he had another focus.
That's kind of
And so now,
fucking damn
yeah.
dumb idea.
Hey man, you got to do it. He like played in like orchestra, symphony orchestra.
Oh,
he's like
serious?
he's
Classical
good.
shit.
Yeah, he's really good. So
Okay.
he had to follow his dreams. He made a bunch of money. He said, "Hey man, I'm gonna follow my dreams now." I'm like,
That's
all
more
right,
than he'll ever make in there.
yeah, listen, man, follow your heart, brother. And so now we got 3. But they told me, don't hire no one else. Just fill our calendar.
Just fill it
I
up.
was like, all right, feed the wolves.
Yeah, we did the same. We used to have a 1-to-1 ratio, like 1 setter per closer. So the setter would just fill up the calendar. And then I'm also like, yeah, we'll just hire more closers. And my closer also like, or you just fucking pack our schedule and we just harsher on a disqualify. Because
But not everybody's gonna be qualified, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta have. I think you gotta have more setters than the closers, just because not everybody's gonna get through it. So
Exactly.
This is math. You see what the average pass through rate is, and then you just act accordingly.
Do you still do sales team meetings, or you got a head of sales that does it?
My boy Brian. You met Brian before, I think.
Which one?
White boy Brian.
Maybe
anyway.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? But it's maybe yeah. But he's the head of sales. He's my best friend, and he's the head of sales. I used to do the meetings every day. It's just I have my energy in other part of the business right now. So Brian's running the sales team now. I still hop in there. I still review calls and shit.
Every now and then, or do you have
every
plan?
I review 1 call from each closer each week at random. You know what I'm saying? But like this Brian's job, I don't want to step on his toes too much, but I just want to make sure you got to make sure that
You never know.
But I look at the numbers every day. I look at everyone's close rate, pass through rate, show up rate. I do some weird shit with my closing team where I never seen no one else do this, right? But I think with closers, you gotta take control of their whole lives, because it's a 100% a mental game.
Amen.
Right? They know they got the skills. It's just like, how do they show up? What's their energy like? So, I make them track if they meditate, if they work out, if they with their I track their macros. I have meetings with them, and I have to like life coach them, right? Because if anything from the outside like takes up too much of their mental bandwidth, is going to reflect on their performance.
Yeah.
And I noticed this every time somebody's sales will start to drop. I'm like, what's going on with your life? What's it?
Girlfriend.
80% of the time is some girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then so like this one guy, he was like, "Yeah, what's going on with your life, man?" He was one of our top performers, and his shit started to plummet. He's like, "Is your girl tripping?" He's like, "Yeah, she a little upset." And I was like, "What's it?" So I got all their girlfriends and wives. I know their love languages. I got it it's in their file, right? And I was like, "What's your girl's love language again?" So I checked. It said, "It's quality time. You've been spending time with this bitch." And he was like, "Oh, not really. When was the last time you had a date night with her?" And it was like 6 months ago. I was like, a motherfucker. So I made him pull up his calendar. I was like, "Yo, I need to schedule 1 date night a week with your wife." Block, you know what I'm saying? And then
Do the wives know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
This quality time comes to you, sponsored by Brandon Carter.
I don't know. That's not my concern, right? But he came back. He's like, oh yeah, things are better than that. His close rate went up. It's like you really got to take control of their whole lives.
Fucking love.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking love that, man.
I had to fix his relationship so I make more money.
Yeah. Gotta fix your fucking relationship.
I'm not gonna let some bitch fuck up my shit. We gotta buy it. So some of my guys, one of my boys, his girls' love language is like gifts. So we got scheduled. We got scheduled recurring tasks for him to get something for his girlfriend.
Gifts.
Yeah. We got scheduled like shit like that. You really gotta just.
That's really fucking smart, man. And it's again like people listen to this, they're like, yeah, that's weird or whatever. That's like, there's no proof that that's the reason. Fuck yeah.
I know the data. I don't care what the reason is as long as it works.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm getting the result I want, I don't care what it works. If you told me that you follow your horoscope and you make more money, I'll be like, yo, keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, I don't give a fuck what the reason is. If it works, let's go. If it works and it's ethical, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I don't give a fuck what the reason is.
We notice with a lot of our reps when they're home, because a lot of them are traveling around, because it's all remote, right? So they do whatever they want. And they go home to their families, their fucking rates start dropping. Because it's like they fall into their old patterns, right? So it's like you leave your house, your parents' house, and you're like, okay, I could be anyone who I want.
Oh, you got super young guys.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
all my guys are adults.
Oh no. I was like 25, average, probably something like that. And then they come home again, and then they fall back into their old habits. They feel like a boy again, and then their mom is fucking cooking.
They got obligations and shit.
Exactly. And then I'm like, dude, fuck out of here. Get out of here again. Literally, like the same fucking day that he leaves, things go back up.
It's the opposite with us because our sales guys are older. They're like late 20s, early 30s, and so it's like when they travel, because they work remote, they can work when they travel. That's when it's probably the same thing, routine. They break that routine.
The fucking routine.
When our guys travel or when one of them moves.
Oh, that takes forever.
And it takes a lot of mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
Right? You got to think about it, so you can't be present when you're moving because it's such a big project for someone. Like, burnout doesn't come from activity. It comes from stress. Right?
Amen.
Like little children, they'll play all day, right? They'll be super active. They won't be burnt out. They might be tired, but not burnt out, right? Burnout comes from stress. So you can just be at your crib doing nothing, but if you're stressed out, you'll feel burnt out, right? So it's what I really focus on is for salespeople in general is just lowering their mental bandwidth. So they don't have much to think about. Sometimes they'll have like a lot of shit going on in their head, and I'll sit with them and plan it out. It might have nothing to do with the business, their life shit, but they'll feel better. They'll be calmer. And that way, as a result, they have more mental clarity. Burnout comes from stress. So when someone's moving, there's nothing I can do about that except for reduce their calls. Or I might tell them this, man, we might just take you off calls so you're done with this move. Just because I know what's going to happen. He's going to burn my money,
Yeah. Fuck, man, that's pretty genius.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Fuck, man, I'm literally going to implement that shit.
Yeah, like if you're moving, it's cool. Yeah, check in. I ask them what's going on. So my protocol is, I think the things that cause stress, it's going to take up mental bandwidth. It's like projects and conflicts. So if you got a project you're working on, or if you got a conflict that's unresolved, it could be even an internal or external conflict, and we just list them all out. And then we categorize it as plan it, fuck it, or delegate it. Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like some of the shit you don't have to worry about, So can you say fuck that shit? And then we'll go through it. Boom, boom, boom. And if something to delegate, all right, then we make a plan to delegate. And if the plan, then it's like, I need you to take, how much time you think it take you to plan that? An hour, 2 hours. All right. Block out time in your calendar to plan that shit. And then we go through all the projects and all the conflicts they have going on. It might be like, a conflict could be like your girl tripping or whatever. And once they just go through the exercise, they always feel better. So I run into it with myself too. I feel like there's a lot going on. It's projects and conflicts, man. Take up mental bandwidth. You got to get it out your head.
Beautiful, man. Well, that's basically fucking it. How can people find you? How can they work with you? How can they buy your shit?
Holler at me on Instagram, King Keto, KINGKETO, or you can find my YouTube. Type Brandon Carter in, some dope shit to come up. I promise you.
With your own music on it.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
It's the one with 1 million subscribers, man. You can't miss it. And And those are probably the main ways to find me. You know what I'm saying?
Good shit. Well, thanks for your time. Thanks for
Appreciate
being
it,
on,
brother.
man. Let's do more of that in the next 6 years or whatever.
Sounds good.
I have created an AI system that does 80% of the work for you if you want to start, scale, and automate a coaching business. This is absolutely revolutionary. I've been testing these AI systems for my own company. I've rolled this out to my existing high-ticket clients, and the results were off the charts. Yo, it's never been easier to start, build, and automate your own business because nowadays AI does up to 80, in some cases even 90% of the work for you. If you want to know more about that, if you want to get started with us, book your free consultation call over at maxtornow.com/call. The link is down in the description below as well, because we can tell you how to get started, how to get your first clients, where to post, how to post, and how to have AI do most of the work for you. It's absolutely insane. It's never been easier. It's never took you less time to get started. Make your first 10K, 20K, even 100K a month with that. maxtornow.com/call. Talk to you soon on that call. We'll share all the information with you for free, and let's get you started.